In a shocking twist of modern warfare, Ukraine faces an assault not from traditional weaponry but from swarms of inexpensive drones, flying debris that could easily be dismissed at first glance. In July 2025, the situation escalated dramatically, with over 6,300 Shahid drones unleashed by Russia, a staggering rise from just 426 the previous year. This isn't a battle of firepower, it's a competition of mass production where Russia currently seems to hold the aces. Yet, Ukraine refuses to yield. The nation has ramped up its drone manufacturing capabilities with the bold claim of producing 4.5 million drones annually, many piercing deep into Russian airspace. The stakes have shifted, creating a tense race not only to deploy drones but to neutralize them. The unconventional hero in this story? It's not an air-to-air missile but a cutting-edge microwave defense system named Leonidas. This revolutionary technology generates an invisible electromagnetic barrier, frying drone swarms in midair with targeted microwave energy. Instead of simply shooting down intrusive drones, it renders entire sections of sky out of reach for them. The Leonidas system emerges from the long confrontation aimed at devising effective countermeasures against these relentless aerial threats. Both Russia and Ukraine have rolled out various anti-drone technologies, ranging from sophisticated radar systems to artillery mounted on mobile platforms that can decimate drones in droves when they come into range. However, the global community has been watching keenly. The West is taking notes and creating its own solutions to navigate what clearly indicates the changing landscape of warfare. In a surprising development, a U.S. corporation has birthed an advanced weapon that could potentially change the game. The Leonidas prototype is rumored to unleash more electromagnetic energy than any other system on the market today. According to Epirus CEO Andy Lowry, if this weapon were engaged in Kiev, its electromagnetic signature might be picked up as far away as St. Petersburg. This sort of power not only makes it a prime target for adversaries but also a formidable shield against drone assaults. Yet, how effective is Leonidas really? Unlike conventional air defense systems, which typically require costly interceptors to take down individual targets, Leonidas operates on a different economic model. Each enemy drone, such as the Iranian-made Shahid 136, costs around $35,000 to produce, while Western drones like the MQ-9 could run into millions. This glaring disparity creates a dilemma for defenders, balancing cost and effectiveness in an attritional warfare context. With Russia launching over 15,000 drones in a span of several months, Ukraine finds itself besieged and pressured into utilizing its most expensive munitions against hordes of cheaper drones. It's a harsh reality, each drone's presence represents not just a singular threat, but a chaos that pressures air defenses and civilian morale. The aerial battleground has transformed into a land where the mere existence of these drones becomes a war tactic in itself, forcing Ukraine into agonizing decisions to protect its critical infrastructure. In this intricate chess game of aerial strategy, where Leonidas promises to change the rules, will it be enough to turn the tides? As we delve deeper into the advancements and implications of this revolutionary system, one question lingers: can technology truly outpace the relentless march of drone warfare? What lies in store as both sides adapt to an ever-evolving battlefield where the stakes have never been so high? Amid the chaos of battle, an unseen war unfolds, not fought by flying jets or ground tanks but rather by legions of cheap kamikaze drones. Each drone, costing less than a used car, swarms through the skies, making them a formidable weapon of choice. In July 2025, Russia unleashed over 6,300 of these Shahid drones into Ukraine, a startling increase from the mere 426 deployed the previous year. It feels like a relentless tide, and in this war of mass production, Russia appears to hold the reins, but Ukraine is far from surrendering. Imagine a scene where tensions escalate. Ukraine's drone industry is scaling up rapidly, claiming it can now produce an astonishing 4.5 million drones each year. With many of these drones striking deep into Russian territory, the stakes have risen, igniting a fierce arms race. Each side is not only fighting to launch drones but also to develop effective ways to neutralize them. What could possibly stop these deadly swarms? Enter the Leonidas system, a groundbreaking U.S. weapon that uses microwave energy to create an electromagnetic field, frying drones mid-air. This isn't just another missile defense system. The Leonidas is designed to make entire skies unflyable, a revolutionary approach in the realm of modern warfare. Imagine the shock of witnessing drones fall from the sky as they encounter an invisible wall of energy. This system, crafted through the brutal truths of attritional warfare, represents a significant leap forward as both sides have showcased their anti-drone advancements. Yet, the war continues. As Russian forces deploy 15,000 Shahed-like drones between August 2024 and March 2025, the economic disadvantage to Ukraine becomes staggering. The Shahed drones are deceptively cost-effective at around $35,000 each, while American counterparts like the MQ-9 Reaper come with a staggering price tag of up to $32 million. Where is the fairness? Ukraine must rely on expensive interception methods, prolonging a war of attrition that slowly erodes its resources. Sure, the interception rates of these drones are impressive, but the math is unforgiving, a conservation of ammunition stretched thin against a tide of cheap, mass-produced drones. Vast quantities of Russian drones transform the battlefield into an economic nightmare, pushing Ukraine to prioritize electronic warfare for drone accuracy reduction instead of direct interception. The result? Saturation tactics that place incredible strain on air defenses. It's not just about individual hits, the real terror lies in the pervasive threat and its impact on civilians. As Ukrainian forces grapple to defend their homeland, their electronic warfare capabilities are merely a stopgap. Enter Leonidas, the weapon designed to tilt the scales. With its ability to disrupt multiple drones simultaneously, this system could change everything. Imagine an area denial scenario where the skies become a fortress against enemy drones, backed by an advanced electromagnetic interference field. This isn't just about shooting down drones, it's about rendering the skies inaccessible to them entirely. While Ukraine forces are bogged down in strategic dilemmas, Leonidas represents a beacon of hope. Can a system, which operates tirelessly as long as it has power, be the game-changer needed to alter the course of the conflict? The Leonidas system promises endless defense from waves of drones, fundamentally altering the equations of aerial warfare. In the coming storm of conflict, does this new technology herald a shift in the balance of power in this otherwise dire situation? The battle for the skies continues. As tensions escalate in the skies over Ukraine, an astonishing new technology emerges, Leonidas. Picture a powerful electromagnetic shield, a dome that defends against swarms of drones, transforming the battlefield yet again. Unlike targeting each enemy drone individually, Leonidas creates a protective umbrella that spans hundreds of feet, rendering airspace dangerous for any aerial threat. Imagine a system that can continue to operate indefinitely, as long as it has power. This encourages a shift in warfare economics. Operators no longer spend millions for each interception, they simply pay for the electricity that keeps the system running. In this new model, the very fabric of aerial defense is woven from innovative technology. What sets Leonidas apart? Traditional high-power microwave (HPM) devices unleash a staggeringly brief pulse of energy, just 10 nanoseconds. Leonidas, however, generates a pulse for a full millisecond, far beyond what current technology offers. That seemingly small shift means everything. For a drone's intricate chips, a millisecond can encompass thousands of processing cycles. This sustained assault can overload and confuse these electronics, rendering them useless. Employing a methodical architecture, the Leonidas system comprises around 150 line replaceable amplifier modules, or LRAMs. These are the brain and backbone of the system, building its capabilities based on their numbers. Need more power? Simply scale up. A system with 100 LRAMs can reach 10 times the range of one with just 10. Now, take a moment to ponder, how will this revolutionary approach to aerial defense impact the future of warfare? The stage is set, but the outcome remains uncertain as a fierce battle looms on the horizon. Will Leonidas turn the tide in this brutal conflict? Prepare for what awaits. An astounding shift is underway in modern warfare, one driven by the unrelenting rise of drone technology. Picture this: Ukraine faces a relentless assault, not from jets or tanks, but from an overwhelming swarm of inexpensive kamikaze drones. In July 2025, Russia unleashed more than 6,300 Shahed drones, dwarfed only by the staggering potential of Ukraine's burgeoning drone industry, claiming it could produce 4.5 million drones annually. With both sides engaged in an escalating arms race of technology and tactics, a groundbreaking solution emerges, a microwave-based defense system named Leonidas. Imagine the tension as Ukrainian forces scramble to develop countermeasures against cheap drone armies trying to wreak havoc. The air crackles with uncertainty. Russia's drones, costing a mere $35,000 each, challenge the traditional air defense systems that require a staggering financial investment. Each interception effort threatens to drain Ukraine's resources, pushing it to rely on electronic warfare tactics to disrupt, rather than destroy, these flying scourges. All this while civilians live under constant threat, feeling the weight of anxiety as drone attacks saturate their skies. Enter Leonidas, designed to create an electromagnetic barrier, obliterating drones from the air with an invisible wall of energy. The weapon operates on an astonishing principle: high-powered microwave bursts that can scramble electronics without firing a single projectile. With advancements in its second generation, Leonidas can potentially double its output by connecting multiple systems, amplifying its defensive capacity dramatically. Can you sense the urgency? Imagine standing on the battlefield where the air smells of burning rubber and oil, the sound of drones buzzing overhead, and then witnessing Leonidas in action. It creates an umbrella of protection, neutralizing drone threats before they can strike, shifting the paradigm of aerial defense forever. As Ukraine faces an impending swarm of Russian drones, the question looms: will Leonidas provide the crucial edge? This air defense system can operate autonomously for up to 30 minutes, a critical window that could turn the tide against relentless drone waves. The stakes have never been higher, and both sides approach the looming clash with bated breath. As the world watches, will Leonidas fulfill its promise and redefine the rules of engagement in this new era of conflict? In a world transformed by warfare technology, flying debris has become the enemy of the skies. Ukraine faces an astonishing threat not from traditional aerial forces, but from a swarm of inexpensive kamikaze drones. In July 2025, Russia escalated its campaign, unleashing over 6,300 Shahid drones against Ukraine, an increase from just 426 the previous year. This isn't just a conflict, it's a relentless arms race, where mass-produced drones challenge the very fabric of modern warfare. But Ukraine refuses to wave the white flag. The nation's drone industry is in full swing, claiming to build a staggering 4.5 million drones each year, with many reaching deep into Russian territory. The battleground is not merely about launching these drones anymore, it's also about how to stop them effectively. Enter the Leonidas system, a groundbreaking weapon developed in the United States. This marvel generates an invisible electromagnetic field, annihilating entire drone swarms with high-powered microwave energy, rendering skies uninhabitable for any flying object that dares invade its territory. The concept behind Leonidas is radical. While conventional air defenses work on a one-to-one basis, one missile for one drone, the Leonidas system operates differently. It aims to create a bubble of protection that disrupts the electronics of multiple drones at once. Imagine a protective dome that shrouds a military base, shielded from aerial threats by a force beyond traditional measures, all while being more cost-effective than traditional methods. What challenges traditional air defense systems is not just the sheer volume of drones but the costs associated with intercepting them. Each Shahid drone is valued at a mere $35,000, while sophisticated interceptor missiles can cost tens of thousands, creating an economic imbalance favoring the attackers. As the Ukrainian defense adopts a mix of electronic warfare strategies to counter these cheap drones, the tension escalates. Now, with Leonidas, the landscape pivotally shifts. It's capable of generating sustained electromagnetic pulses, confusing drone systems at their core. Its effectiveness lies not in brute force but in its intelligence to navigate electromagnetic vulnerabilities, creating a potential game-changer in counter-drone technology. But can this groundbreaking system truly redefine success on the battlefield? As the fight rages on, Leonidas stands on the frontier, promising a new chapter in warfare that might extend well beyond the skies, a window into the evolution of weaponry itself. The question remains, will this revolutionary technology alter the balance forever, or will new challenges arise from those who resist its power? In the midst of a chaotic battlefield, a revolutionary weapon is poised to shift the balance of power in an ongoing conflict. The Leonidas system may look like an ordinary machine, but it packs an extraordinary punch, generating immense electromagnetic energy. However, this power comes with a glaring challenge: its visibility. While it could dominate the skies against swarms of drones, the massive electromagnetic signature it releases makes it a beacon for enemy forces. Imagine a blaring alarm in the dead of night, the kind that jolts you awake with a racing heart. That's the risk Leonidas faces each time it engages in operation. The technology could blind enemy drones, but in doing so, it lights up like a Christmas tree on radar. If adversaries manage to pinpoint its location, it's game over. They could unleash precision-guided glide bombs, turning this formidable shield into a sitting duck. The irony is staggering: the weapon designed to protect also presents a giant target. With thousands of glide bombs, derived from the remnants of Soviet-era aviation technology and enhanced with modern navigation, Russia could easily exploit this weakness. So, what's the solution? The answer lies in agility, strategic mobility. The goal is to equip Leonidas with shoot-and-scoot capabilities, allowing it to deploy, fire, and retreat in a matter of minutes. In the heat of battle, every second counts. Should enemies detect its electromagnetic pulse, quick relocation could be a matter of life and death. Developers claim that this system can be operational in as little as 15 to 20 minutes, giving it an edge. The mobility component is critical, and as the technology progresses, a variety of platforms are being explored for its deployment. The Leonidas is not just a weapon, it's part of a broader strategy, encompassing advanced mobile units like the Leonidas Mobile, fitted onto robust Stryker vehicles. Imagine military convoys darting through the terrain, each carrying the potential to protect troops and infringe upon the enemy's aerial maneuvers. Will this game-changing technology be able to turn the tide in the attritional war? As nations scramble to adapt their defenses and countermeasures, the race is on. The pressing question remains: can the Leonidas system cultivate enough tactical flexibility to become the ultimate guardian against the skies, or will it succumb to the very dangers it was designed to defeat? The stakes couldn't be higher as both sides rethink their strategies, knowing the consequences of failing to outmaneuver each other. As the battle intensifies, each moment spent deliberating might bring catastrophic repercussions. Will Leonidas prove to be the breakthrough or become a fleeting hope lost amid the ruins of war? In a battlefield characterized by innovation and relentless production, Ukraine faces a peculiar threat: legions of inexpensive kamikaze drones. Not fighter jets or armored tanks, but a swarm of cheap yet devastating aerial machines that can be mass-produced at a fraction of the cost of traditional weaponry. In July 2025, Russia unleashed over 6,300 Shahid drones on Ukraine, a staggering increase from just 426 the prior year. It's a war where numbers dictate power, and presently, Russia holds the upper hand. But Ukraine isn't a mere spectator, it's ramping up its own drone industry, claiming it can manufacture 4.5 million drones annually, reaching deep into Russian territory. Both nations find themselves entrenched in an unprecedented arms race, not merely to launch drones but to neutralize them. Enter the revolutionary Leonidas system, a U.S. weapon that transforms the battlefield by utilizing electromagnetic pulses to disable drones mid-air. This isn't just intercepting threats, it turns entire skies into no-fly zones. The implications of the Leonidas extend far beyond the Ukraine conflict. Epirus, the company behind the system, made headlines in March 2025 by raising $250 million in a funding round, totaling over $550 million in investments. This financial commitment signifies a broad recognition of Leonidas' potential to redefine warfare. Additionally, developments like the AUKUS agreement have positioned Epirus within Australia's Project Land 156, showcasing its capability to eliminate small drones within foreign military operations. The Leonidas doesn't just aim to address military needs. With the upcoming World Cup in the US, concerns over drone threats at major events have surfaced. Lowry, the CEO of Epirus, emphasizes that positioning HPM systems near match venues and even along the US southern border could fortify civilian protection. Between August 2023 and April 2024, a U.S. military unit faced a staggering 170 drone assaults, a clear indication of the growing need for effective countermeasures. Yet, this isn't merely about military superiority. The explosion of drones has birthed a new era of warfare mingling robotics, artificial intelligence, and computing, dramatically lowering costs and minimizing the risk to human lives. As the battlefield evolves, the Leonidas stands as a beacon of advanced technology, ready to challenge the future of conflict. But will it be enough to turn the tide against a relentless swarm, and who will truly emerge victorious in this new realm of warfare? In today's rapidly evolving battlefield, the clash of drones has transformed warfare. Ukraine, once lacking any significant drone capabilities, has surprisingly now become a major player in drone manufacturing. The war has forced this nation into a frenzy of innovation, turning concepts into actual products in mere months. Meanwhile, Russia steadily ramps up its domestic production of Shahid drones and their variants, enhancing their performance, speed, and payload. Both countries are under pressure to innovate new technology swiftly. This urgency underscores the need for the Leonidas system to be refined without delay if it aims to tip the scales in this ongoing conflict. What sets Leonidas apart is its promise to revolutionize military spending. Unlike traditional munitions, which can cost upwards of $1 million per shot, Leonidas offers an attractive solution. It can engage multiple targets for just the price of electricity. Imagine a system that eliminates the need to calculate costs based on each individual missile. This radical shift could redefine modern warfare. Furthermore, the durability of Leonidas bolsters its appeal. If parts of the system fail, it can continue operating, as its modular design allows for easy replacements. This means military forces don't need to invest in multiple systems to achieve high operational availability. Should Leonidas find success with military contracts, it could ignite a boom in demand across various sectors, including low-altitude air defense, homeland security, and international arms sales. However, with Russia's aggressive deployment of drones against Ukraine, profound weaknesses in traditional air defenses have been glaringly exposed. How will the West respond to this urgent need for a viable defense? Can Leonidas truly create a new paradigm in aerial defense? The answer lies in the innovative minds who are racing against time. But, will this revolutionary system be ready before the skies darken once again with hostile drones, or will it be too late? The clock is ticking. In a world where the skies have become battlefields, a new wave of warfare is evolving. The stark reality of cheap kamikaze drones forces nations to rethink their defensive strategies. The war in Ukraine has exposed glaring weaknesses in traditional air defense systems, making them unsustainable against the barrage of low-cost drones. This absolute mismatch in economics is an urgent call for revolutionary solutions. Will the Leonidas system be the game-changer that turns the tide? This cutting-edge electromagnetic weapon system offers a shocking alternative to the aging paradigms of missile defense. Imagine a device capable of creating an invisible electromagnetic force field that disrupts entire swarms of drones. If Leonidas works as envisioned, it could fundamentally alter military strategy, shifting power dynamics in favor of those who deploy it effectively. Yet, this technological marvel comes with its own set of challenges. The wait-and-see approach will determine if it can blend versatility, stealth, and effectiveness all at once. Epic battles loom on the horizon, and as nations invest heavily in their drone capabilities, adapting quickly becomes key. The potential market for such technologies is massive, spanning low-altitude air defense, domestic security, and military exports. As Russia's relentless drone assaults continue, the pressure mounts. Ukraine is forced to innovate at lightning speed, pushing its production capabilities to the limit. Will Leonidas provide the critical edge needed for survival? The current state of drone warfare necessitates swift advancements, and the implications ripple throughout the globe. The rise of such systems not only impacts the battlefield but also domestic security concerns, especially as the international stage prepares for major events like the upcoming World Cup. Protecting these venues from aerial threats is becoming paramount, and Leonidas could excel far beyond traditional military use. The future of warfare might well depend on how effectively nations can harness technology like Leonidas. Will this lead to a new arms race or create a path toward resolution? The answer could redefine how we perceive defense, making every moment more critical than the last. Only time will tell if the Leonidas proves to be a decisive weapon in a landscape fraught with drone-driven conflict. In an era where aerial warfare is evolving dramatically, a new player has emerged, the Leonidas system, a revolutionary weapon altering the rules of engagement. Imagine Ukraine not fighting with jets and tanks, but rather grappling with a swarm of thousands of low-cost kamikaze drones. As the world watches closely, this conflict shifts from traditional battle tactics to one where mass production paves the way to survival. Flash forward to July 2025, and Russia unleashes an astronomical 6,300 Shahid drones into Ukrainian skies. With the stakes higher than ever, the drone war escalates into an asymmetric battle of attrition. Ukraine isn't retreating, though. Their drone capabilities are on the rise, boasting the ability to craft an astounding 4.5 million drones annually. Now, both sides dive into a fierce arms race, not only to unleash drones but also to develop ways to neutralize them. Enter the Leonidas system, engineered by a U.S. company and equipped with a game-changing technology that generates a lethal electromagnetic field. Imagine an invisible dome that can fry drone swarms mid-air, turning the sky into a no-fly zone. This system doesn't just destroy, it defies conventional air defense and is poised to revolutionize modern warfare. However, this technological marvel comes with a hefty price tag ranging from $10 to $20 million for each unit. But compared to traditional defenses, the Leonidas stands as remarkably economical. Instead of depleting resources on interceptors or missiles, it solely draws power from electricity, promising long-term sustainability. Could this signify a turning point in air defense systems, especially when considering the potential for economies of scale in production? The Leonidas symbolizes much more than a technological advancement, it's the answer to Russia's onslaught of low-cost drones. As a response to overwhelming drone waves, it effectively nullifies the numerical advantage, rendering an army's swarm tactics ineffective. Picture this, the Tower 22 scenario, where an attack devastated a U.S. outpost in Jordan, could have been thwarted had the Leonidas been operational. Imagine the difference it could make in the skies of Ukraine, fundamentally shifting the balance of power in drone warfare. As the U.S. prepares to integrate this system into its military framework, the implications stretch far beyond immediate combat. The Leonidas system could redefine how nations understand air defense. What if we could turn the tide in this drone-heavy conflict? The clock is ticking, and the world is watching as the fate of warfare hangs in the balance. What will the future hold? Amid the escalating conflict, Ukraine finds itself in a desperate battle against an unconventional foe, waves of inexpensive kamikaze drones. Over the course of just a few months, from August 2024 to March 2025, Russia unleashed over 15,000 of these Shahid-like drones upon Ukraine, turning the war into one of attrition where cost plays a crucial role. With each drone costing a fraction of what it takes to neutralize it, Ukraine is forced into a corner, draining its resources on defense while grappling with an overwhelming threat that seems to multiply by the day. The war isn't just about the drones hitting their targets, it's about the psychological toll they inflict on civilians and the strain on Ukraine's air defenses. Russia has weaponized the very concept of fear, creating a battlefield where every drone in the sky represents anxiety and uncertainty. Ukraine is faced with heart-wrenching decisions. Should it defend critical infrastructure or conserve its limited resources for future assaults? The current solutions, based primarily on electronic warfare, offer only a partial reprieve against the relentless wave of aerial attacks. But emerging from this chaos is a game-changing innovation, the Leonidas system. Officially known as the high-power microwave indirect fire protection capability, this portable weapon aims to disrupt multiple drones simultaneously, fundamentally altering the dynamics of modern warfare. Unlike traditional systems that target individual threats, Leonidas envelopes the area in an electromagnetic interference field, making it a formidable force against drone saturation. This is where it gets interesting. Andy Lowry, the CEO of Epirus, emphasizes that Leonidas operates on a different paradigm. It's not just a directed energy weapon but rather weaponized electromagnetic interference. This distinction is crucial. Traditional systems like Thor target individual drones, essentially frying their circuits. In contrast, Leonidas creates a powerful interference zone, knocking out multiple drones at once. Imagine a dome of protection that can surround crucial installations, created not by taking out one drone at a time, but by making the airspace inhospitable for these flying threats. The potential effectiveness of this shift could be revolutionary. But how long before opposing forces catch on? What happens when a solution is unveiled, leaving one side scrambling to adapt? As the Leonidas rolls out, it becomes apparent that the scale of its impact could tip the balance of this brutal conflict and redefine the future of warfare, one drone at a time. The question remains, who will adapt first? In the relentless battleground of modern warfare, a strange and chilling reality unfolds. Cheap and effective, Russia's drones, the Shahids, have shattered the balance of power. Between August 1, 2024, and March 1, 2025, over 15,000 of these kamikaze drones flooded Ukraine's skies. Despite Ukraine's remarkable interception rates, it finds itself trapped in an economic war of attrition. What if the threat itself became the weapon? The chilling efficacy of these drones lies not in their individual hits, but the psychological and infrastructural strain they impose on civilians and defenders alike. Ukraine is caught in a dilemma. To safeguard its critical infrastructure, it must expend its most cherished resources, leaving it vulnerable to deeper strikes. However, a revolutionary change is on the horizon. Enter the Leonidas system. Officially known as the IFPCHPM, Indirect Fire Protection Capability High Power Microwave, this innovative technology offers a game-changing solution. Instead of engaging individual threats, Leonidas casts a wide net, disrupting the electronics of multiple drones with a single sweep. The brains behind this impressive feat, Epirus, emphasizes that Leonidas isn't just another energy weapon, it is weaponized electromagnetic interference. This fundamental shift from targeted strikes to area denial marks a defining moment in defense technology. Unlike its predecessor Thor, which closely focused its strikes like a death ray, Leonidas generates a far-reaching electromagnetic interference field, creating an impenetrable dome over battle zones. This capability ensures that as long as Leonidas has power, it can shield against swarms of drones that might otherwise wreak havoc. Would this next-generation system be enough to change the tide of war, or would the looming clouds of drone warfare continue to threaten Ukraine? Imagine the sound of buzzing wings overhead, a chilling reminder of dread. Can Leonidas outwit these relentless mechanized foes? In a chilling twist of modern warfare, Ukraine faces an unprecedented onslaught, not from tanks or fighter jets, but from a swarm of inexpensive kamikaze drones. As of July 2025, Russia unleashed over 6,000 Shahid drones into Ukrainian skies, escalating from a mere 426 the year before. This is not just a conflict, it's a battle of sheer mass production, where quantity overrules quality, and right now, the scales seem to tip in Russia's favor. But don't count Ukraine out just yet. Its burgeoning drone industry claims to manufacture an astonishing 4.5 million drones annually, with many infiltrating deep into Russian territory. As both nations duke it out in this novel arms race, the stakes soar higher than ever. How does one counteract thousands of drones buzzing overhead? The answer isn't an air-to-air missile, it's a microwave weapon. Enter the Leonidas system, a groundbreaking U.S. development that conjures an invisible electromagnetic field, obliterating drone swarms mid-air with intense microwave energy. This isn't merely about shooting down individual drones, it's about rendering entire airspaces uninhabitable for them. The evolution of drone warfare demands countermeasures that extend beyond the conventional. With both Ukraine and Russia showcasing a range of defenses, from advanced radar to artillery systems, the world watches closely as the U.S. innovates its strategies. The Leonidas system, boasting capabilities that far outstrip its counterparts, is designed to generate more electromagnetic energy than any other device globally. Epirus CEO Andy Lowry asserted that firing Leonidas in Kiev could register its signature as far away as St. Petersburg. Talk about a game-changing weapon. Yet here's the catch, while it can fry drone electronics within a kilometer, the full effectiveness wanes at 10. This short-range efficiency prompts a reconsideration of traditional air defense systems that face mathematical dilemmas in battling inexpensive drones. The Iranian-made Shahid 136, costing merely $35,000 to churn out, poses a significant threat to Western drones, which range in the millions. As Russia launches tens of thousands of these drones, Ukraine finds itself spending its limited high-cost ammunition on what are essentially mass-produced aerial terror devices. The grappling of both sides results in an overwhelming straining of resources. Russia churns out drone after drone, while Ukraine is forced to prioritize electronic warfare tactics. The horror lies in the psychological impact of constant drone attacks on civilians, compounding the fear and stress on Ukrainian defense systems. But what if there was a solution that transcends these challenges? Leonidas, or indirect fire protection capability, high-power microwave, isn't just another weapon system. It's a potential revolution in defense strategy. Rather than targeting individual drones, it disrupts entire swathes in the sky, providing a level of area denial never seen before. Imagine a powerful electromagnetic shield enveloping a military base, simultaneously neutralizing multiple threats. This advanced system operates through modular design, making it adaptable. If the situation calls for greater range or power, Epirus can scale Leonidas to fit the demands better than ever before. Recent contracts awarded by the U.S. Army reflect confidence in its potential, but production challenges loom large. Can Epirus meet the demand? Current estimates suggest it can produce only 20 systems a year, barely enough for initial deployment. With production costs pitting the price between $10 and $20 million per unit, scaling up production becomes imperative. What will happen if the demand rises to match the unforeseen production capabilities? Leonidas embodies hope in a grim new world of warfare. Its promise lies not just in countering drone swarms but in redefining tactical engagements in the digital age. While challenges abound, the outcome of this battle of innovation could very well reshape the future of combat as we know it. The clock is ticking as nations brace for what could be the next monumental shift in defense technology. Will Leonidas rise to the occasion, or will it be another casualty of warfare's brutal arithmetic? As technology evolves, warfare adaptations have reached harrowing heights. Imagine a battlefield not filled with tanks or planes, but swarming with inexpensive drones that rain destruction from the skies. This chilling reality began on a fateful summer day in 2025 when a wave of more than 6,300 Shahid drones surged from Russia towards Ukraine, a shocking spike from the mere 426 drones just a year prior. As hundreds of cheap kamikaze drones soared overhead, the question loomed, could Ukraine fend off this storm? In response, Ukraine is ramping up its defense, claiming the ability to produce a staggering 4.5 million drones annually, with many penetrating Russian airspace. Both sides are caught in a fierce arms race. As they scramble to launch drones, they also seek ways to neutralize them. Enter the U.S. Leonidas system, a revolutionary weapon designed not to shoot, but to incinerate swathes of drones mid-flight using potent microwave energy. With this groundbreaking approach, entire skies could become no-fly zones. The Leonidas system emerged from the ashes of traditional warfare tactics, promising to reshape air defense protocols drastically. Unlike conventional lasers and missiles, it aims at disrupting airborne technology broadly, effectively turning an entire area into a hazardous zone for drones. The sheer force of its electromagnetic pulses reverberates across the battlefield, yielding a level of control unseen before. But what does this mean for the ongoing conflict? As both nations continued to deploy their arsenal, the looming threat of drone saturation hung over Ukraine. The small, relentless Shahid drones cost only about $35,000, dwarfing the figures spent on traditional defenses. In direct combat, the numbers alone tell a grim tale for Ukraine. Russia had unleashed over 15,000 drones in months, sapping Ukraine's resources with each inexpensive attack. Drones began representing more than missiles, they embodied a psychological warfare strategy, targeting civilians, spreading panic, and draining defensive capabilities. While Ukraine employed electronic warfare, the efficacy of tackling these low-cost attacks was limited. Just then, the Leonidas system holds the promise of turning this narrative around. Imagine a weapon that doesn't just pick off drones one by one, but creates a shield, protecting populations at a fraction of the cost of traditional systems. With a purchase price estimated between $10 and $20 million, Leonidas seems an expensive venture at first glance. However, this system shifts the paradigm, consuming only electricity to function, a game-changer in production scaling. The real cost lies largely in its line-replaceable amplifier modules, RAMs, which account for roughly 65% of its expense. As more U.S. contractors gain manufacturing licenses, production efficiencies could drive costs down and increase deployment capabilities dramatically. Yet, with innovation comes challenge. Leonidas generates massive energy output, defeating previous effective air defense strategies by rendering the number of attacking drones obsolete. Indeed, Could this revolutionary system have altered the fate of American soldiers during a drone attack in Jordan that claimed lives just a year earlier? One thing is certain, as drone warfare evolves, the potential deployment of Leonidas in Ukraine could reshape the battlefield landscape. What happens next could define the future of air defense and the strategic balance in modern warfare. Could Ukraine weather the storm and reclaim its skies, or will this technology unveil another layer of destruction we have yet to fathom? The outcome hangs delicately in the balance. In a chilling new era of combat, Ukraine finds itself under siege, not from traditional weapons like tanks or fighter jets, but from a relentless swarm of low-cost drones. This unprecedented army, driven by Russia's recent military strategy, includes over 6,300 Shahid drones launched into Ukrainian airspace as of July 2025. Just a year prior, the number stood at a mere 426, indicating a startling escalation. In this fierce encounter, the tide seems to favor Russia, at least for now. But Ukraine is not standing idle. Its drone manufacturing capabilities are escalating rapidly, claiming it can produce an astonishing 4.5 million drones annually, many of which penetrate deep into Russian territory. As both nations gear up for this new style of warfare, the challenge becomes clear: how do you combat thousands of drones buzzing overhead? Surprisingly, the answer isn't a missile, it's a microwave weapon. Introducing the Leonidas system, a revolutionary technology from the US, designed to create an invisible electromagnetic field that annihilates drone swarms in midair using intense microwave energy. This system transcends the simple act of shooting down individual drones. It has the potential to make entire airspaces inaccessible to them. As the landscape of drone warfare evolves, both Ukraine and Russia are showcasing various defensive measures, from cutting-edge radar systems to artillery capable of targeting drones. The global spotlight is on these innovations, particularly the Leonidas system, which surpasses any other weapon of its kind. According to Andy Lowry, the CEO of Epirus, if deployed in Kiev, its electromagnetic signature could even be detected as far away as St. Petersburg. Such an astonishing capability positions Leonidas as a prime target for Russian defenses but also as a formidable weapon against drone swarms. However, there's a catch. The weapon's most effective range stretches only around 1 kilometer, with diminishing effectiveness beyond 10 kilometers. This short-range efficiency raises fundamental questions about traditional air defense systems facing the daunting numbers that cheap drones present. Each Iranian-made Shahid 136 drone costs approximately $35,000, a stark contrast to Western drones, which range from $28 to $32 million. As Russia continues its relentless drone attacks, Ukraine finds itself draining its high-cost ammunition reserves on these inexpensive aerial threats. This economic imbalance creates a significant strain on Ukraine's resources, forcing it to resort to electronic warfare tactics while contending with the psychological toll of constant drone bombardments on civilians. What if a groundbreaking solution could alter this dire scenario? Leonidas, officially known as the Indirect Fire Protection Capability, high-power microwave system, represents a monumental shift in defense capabilities. It is designed to disrupt multiple drones at once rather than focusing on individual targets, offering unprecedented area denial. Imagine a robust electromagnetic shield enveloping critical military bases, capable of neutralizing various threats simultaneously. The architecture of Leonidas emphasizes its adaptability through modular design. If there's a need for increased range or power, Epirus can scale its production to meet those demands. However, the U.S. Army's recent contracts, solidifying confidence in the system's potential, come with looming production challenges. Present estimates indicate that only 20 units can be produced per year, hardly sufficient for initial operations. Given the costs range between $10 and $20 million per unit, can Epirus ramp up production to satisfy growing demand? Leonidas stands as a beacon of hope in a war-torn world. Its potential lies not only in countering drone swarms but in reshaping tactical engagements in this digital age of warfare. Yet, significant challenges remain on the horizon. As nations prepare for potential escalations, the race to innovate in defense technology is intensifying. Will the groundbreaking capabilities of Leonidas live up to the expectations, or will it fall victim to the brutal calculations of modern warfare? The stakes have never been higher,